Hi beauties, it's Savythatsimmeryt and cozy up and let's get into a fun Gshade video where I go over a small tutorial and all my favorite presets. This is a highly requested video, so I figured I would go ahead and cover that at some point sooner than later. So before we do get started, I do want to try and section this video into 3 different sections. So I want to be able to show you guys how to use Gshade on your computer, downloading and installing Gshade presets. So that way I can just kind of walk you through it. So then I want to talk about the technical system functions of the actual Gshade panel with you. And then lastly, I'll go over my favorite presets. So what I want you guys to do in order to learn how to download Gshade and install it into your actual Sims 4 game is to please visit Livid. Their YouTube channel has an amazing video which is listed right here under their popular videos, and it is how to install and use Gshade for The Sims 4. So basically they have a whole tutorial on how to download it, install it into your game. So it's perfect. It's 21 minutes. It goes over a really good in-depth explanation of it. The video is especially important to learn how to download Gshade and actually install it in your game, but I'm just going to be going over my tutorial portion of how to actually use it in the game and functionality of it, and then also my favorite presets. So anyways, just make sure you guys watch that. So the next part of the video is I want to go ahead and show you guys how to download a preset and put it in your preset folder. Again, make sure you watch the video that I suggested for you so you know how to actually install Gshade. I'm not doing an install Gshade video steps, so you know how to use Gshade and installing presets and using them in your game and taking screenshots. So, and my favorite ones, of course. So for example, I went ahead and just typed in one of my favorite ones, Boho Dreams by Neecxle. So what you're going to do is you're going to click this link right here, and then it's going to take you to her Tumblr website. Once you're there, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom right here and hit download. And so once you hit download, this right here will pop up for you and you'll just hit download. So once you download Boho Dreams preset, it's going to show up right here in your downloads folder. And you're going to go over to your C drive where your Gshade lives, basically where the folder lives. So you're going to go to your C drive, like I said, you're going to click program files with the 86. So this one has program files blank. This one will have the x86. You want to make sure that you click that. So this might be different how your game is set up for you, but for me, some people have electronic arts in here or origin, but most people probably have electronic arts, or it may just look like Sims 4 because we switched over to the EA app. So now that it looks like that, you're going to go to Sims 4. You're going to find your game folder, and then you're going to find Ben. Make sure though it's Ben, not the Ben LE. You can open it if you want, but that's not the one we need to go into. So you're going to just go to the Ben. Then you're going to go to Gshade presets, then go to custom, and this is where all of my presets live. So all you're going to do is just go ahead and cut it or copy it, whatever you want to do, but I always just drag it and throw it in there. So now that you can see the Boho Dreams is located in my presets folder. So you just want to always make sure all of your presets are in the custom folder so it shows up in your Gshade panel. So if you ever want to take any of them out, you simply just grab them out and they're no longer in there, and then you can just put them in there. So that's how that works, and then it should show up in your game. And it always does for me. So yeah, that is just a simple tutorial on how to download your Gshade presets and then put them into your game. And then once you load up your Sims 4 game, it should be located in there. So I know it's gonna sound a little dramatic, but when I play The Sims 4, I literally cannot play it without Gshade. Ever since having Gshade in my game and playing without it, like I can't. So this is off and this is on. So basically it just changes the colors of the game too much for me, and it just honestly feels like a different game. So I just can't fathom not having it. Like I have to have some type of shader in my game, if that's Reshade or Gshade or any type of shades. Whatever they end up coming out with in the future. I love it and I won't ever do without it. So it's my favorite. Also, just a little tip for you guys though. So when you are using Gshade or Reshade, go to your game options and make sure your edge smoothing is turned off. So what that does, it's going to add more depth. So especially if you have any shaders on that have a lot of like depth to them. So this is actually my Sim self. I'm sure you're familiar with her from all of my Sim channel branding. Basically, I wanted to show you guys a little tutorial of all of my favorite Gshades that I use. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the scary thing and turn it off. You guys will see the difference. Look at the difference. Isn't this crazy? To me, it's honestly crazy. Like, I never play the game anymore, like bare bones like this. Like, what is this? So again, this is on and this is off. So this is the Gshade panel. So if you had reshade, it might look a little bit different, or if you're wanting to use reshade, you can. So Gshade and reshade are basically the same thing. They're just two different platforms that hold shaders in them to help change the coloring like this. So my Gshade panel looks like this. It does need to update, so this is why this looks like this. So my panel to open up Gshade is this. I used number 4. So I'll go ahead and show you really quick. So everything probably looks like, you know, very unfamiliar to you. It may look a little intimidating as well, but I promise you it's really not intimidating. Once you get used to it, it's actually very, very easy to use. So for example, the overlay key is number 5. This is everything that I have changed it to on my keypad just because it's easier for me. So like I said, I use 4. So I'm going to hit the number 4 right now. Turn the Gshade on and off with the number 4. So, and then the number 5 is my overlay key. So the overlay key, for example, just means that this right here, the panel is going to disappear and appear. So I'm hitting 5 now. It's going to open and close it, open and close. So going back to the settings, and then the number 8 key. So for example, the number 8 and number 7 for me is going to be the previous key and the next key. So what that does is this is basically, I'm going to close it for you guys. I'm going to close it. So if I'm in the game and I'm wanting to change presets, but I don't want to open up the panel, all I have to do is hit the number 7 and the number 8. So I chose those two because they're so close to each other. So number 7 right there, just change the preset you guys saw. Number 8 takes us back to my favorite one right here, and number 8 moves us going forward. So yeah, and I know my favorite one by heart. Like I know which one it is. It's this one right here. So yeah, so that's just a little example on how to use the panel. So I will be linking a video down below on how to actually install Gshade. I'm not going to be doing that today. I feel like the one that I'm going to link for you guys is honestly like the best, and it's just a really good overview. So also another thing I do want to mention to you is the screenshot key, and you can actually type in here and change all of your shortcut keys if you'd like. You don't have to have what I have, but for example, the number 9 is my screenshot one. So I will show you guys. So I'm going to hit the number 9, and then later on towards the end of the video, I'll show you this screenshot was able to be taken. So anyways, mine's the number 9. I just like those keys, how they're set up. It's just really helpful for me. So if you want the screenshot message to alert you that the screenshot was done, you would just hit show screenshot message, or there should be a notification too. You can also see before and after images as well, which is nice if you're like trying to share your information with other people, like on Twitter and stuff like that. So let me show you guys really quick, just so you can kind of get an idea. So this is the Ellcrze Gshade. This is my most favorite Gshade. This is what I use all of my screenshots for. This is how I get the bokeh effect. So this is what I mean by bokeh. So this beautiful, creamy, blurry background. So I'm actually a photographer in real life, so I am familiar with that term. So bokeh just basically means like it's a blurry effect. It's basically the circle size of the actual like blur, if that makes sense. So a lot of people will say like, oh, I like the blurry effect, or I don't know, other people will say like different terms, but it's called bokeh. But it's really beautiful, and it's just like a very gorgeous, like creamy background, as you guys can see. And then with this preset, it gets stronger, and then it can also get lighter too. But as you guys can see, there's like depth right here, so that looks, you know, different compared to what it normally does. Normally it looks like this, but with it on, it looks like this. So getting back to my sim really quick, I will show you guys what it looks like when I have the blur effect, again, the bokeh. So this is the ADOF key, so ADOF, that is on. So the shortcut key for the ADOF is Shift 5. So I'm going to hit Shift 5. So for example, right there, as you guys can see, I have the preset on, but I'm turning the bokeh on and off. So on and off, and it looks so beautiful. I love it so much. This girl is going to be so tired by the time I'm done with this tutorial. She's just like continuing to keep doing her thing. So that's the Ellcrze Gshade. That is my most favorite one. You guys will notice that I use this one specifically a lot in my thumbnails. So yeah, I just love the bokeh effect. I think it's so beautiful and creamy, and it just reminds me of like real life photography and like beautiful lenses. So, but we're here for the Sims, not for photography, but you guys get my point. So my next favorite one will be the Elaina by Ellcrze. So this is it right here. This is the one that I use for my gameplay. So I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but this is the exact one that I use for my gameplay. So this is with the Gshade on, and I have the 8-off key on. So again, this is on and off. But again, you guys probably will notice if you watch my videos, like this is what I use. And then I have the Angelic one, which is by Elaina. This is one of my first ones I ever used in the game, and I'll just go ahead and show you guys what that looks like in the game. So it has like a nice, like pretty, I don't really know exactly how to describe it, but it just has like a lot of like orangey red hues to it. So you know, it's not always easy on the eyes, but it's definitely very beautiful, and I'm definitely a big fan of it. And this one is called Champagne by Chewybutterfly. So this one is really fun. It's a little funky, so I'll show you guys how this one works. So as you guys can see here, my sim is like super blurry, and everything around her is. So this is one that you're definitely gonna have to use for more like a focal point of view. So what I mean by that is this is one that you're gonna have to like actually go right here and then click on your sim. So you're gonna click on your sim, or you're just gonna click on whatever you're trying to focus on. So for example, if I click over here on these leaves, that's gonna be in focus. But if I click on my sim over here, you see she is in focus. So yeah, and then you would just take a quick Gshade photo. But this is when I really enjoy taking funky screenshots with. I really enjoy it a lot. And it has like these pretty flares to it as well. And you can always go in and like play with the stuff. So this would be like the bloom lens flare, and you would just put it on and off. So, and then moving forward, I have the Ellanora one as well. And again, this is the one that I like to use for my gameplay. So it's just beautiful. I love it so much. But I do have a version that I tweak for myself. Yeah, it's actually this one right here. So it's to Ellanora. This is my gameplay one. And this is her regular one right here, the Ellanora. So this one's a little bit darker. I got those two confused, but just don't mind that. And then Groovy is another one by Ellcrze. So this one is just very like oversaturated. So basically it's just very like bright and airy, which is, I think, is gorgeous for screenshots. And also the shader is very high. So what I mean by that is how you see like all these shadows in the game. We don't really have that. So for example, that is going to be MXAO. So when I turn it off, do you see the difference? It is a huge difference. Basically what MXAO is, it's just a shader. So it creates depth and shadows. I'm going to turn the MXAO off. So do you guys see the difference? Like all these shadows are completely off. And I wouldn't suggest to have this shader, that shader for gameplay if you don't have a really high-end computer, because even on my like mine's like in between a medium and a high gaming laptop. It's definitely not super high. But my new one that I have, it still runs a little laggy sometimes with this on. So I would just highly suggest playing around with it. If it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, then maybe just turning it off or maybe a lower setting. But you can always go in here, as you guys can see, and like play with it. And you can make like this background over here to be more blurry versus your Sim's face. But I personally like to have my Sims look more in depth with like their actual faces and their clothes. So I just think it looks nice, and it's just so different from like the flat game that we have. So, and then yeah, so that one is one of my favorites as well. I think the Groovy one is so beautiful and so well done. Again though, take that shader off if it's heavy on your computer. If not, totally have fun with it, but I can't always. And then Latte, which is another one by Ellcrze, is a really good one as well. So this is off, this is on, off and on. And Latte is really good for red colors. So let me show you what I mean. So this one can also be a little bit harsh in the eyes, but it just depends on how you feel. But let me just show you all these like beautiful reds and greens. So this is off. Look at that, y'all. Off and on. Like, how beautiful is that? Like, it's gorgeous. It's such a beautiful difference, and that's what I love about it. So anyways, with this one, MXAO is also on, so you can just turn that off. But let me show you. So even with that off, like, these colors still look so gorgeous. And by the way, we are in Windenburg, if you notice. It's one of my favorite worlds, so I had to do this tutorial in there. So, and then moving forward, we have this minty fresh one, which I personally love. I felt like this one was a little bit darker for my gameplay, but it's just so beautiful. If you're in the mood for something different and something that has like a little bit of a more like moodier preset, I would highly suggest this minty one. And again, this is one of my favorites. I just don't use it for like filming YouTube. But maybe I should. Maybe it'd be fun to like check out. But again, this is off and this is on. Like, isn't that so nice? I feel like this would be a nice preset for your Sims to like play in the fall. So yeah, that is the minty one. And don't worry, I will make sure to link all of these in the description below. This one is called Poundcake by Elaina. This one also has the MXAO on it as well. And this one speaks to my heart. Like, this is one of the first ones I ever used. Y'all, look at these shadows. Like, they're so gorgeous. Let me show you with it on and off though, just to give you a reference. So this is off and on. But again, you can always just play with it, figure out what you like. And you know, you can, like I said, play with it and just see like what works better with your computer. But you might not even have any issues. You know, it's just, I want to give you a forewarning just in case. So anyways, moving on from that one, I love Poundcake. It's so cute. So Angelic was one of the first ones I used by Elaina, and then I think it was also Strudel. Yeah, Strudel is one of my absolute favorites too. So look how good they look. My only thing is though with this one, I would probably just go in and I would just probably tweak the MXAO. So this is the Strudel one. I absolutely love this preset so much. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Like, look how beautiful this is. And honestly, in my opinion, like, it doesn't even need the MXAO. Like, this is on and off. Like, I think it still looks really nice without it, in my personal opinion. Again, it's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think it looks great. And then this is with the blurry effect on it. And like, come on, you cannot tell me that this is not the most gorgeous preset. Like, it's so beautiful. Also, just a little tip too, you can make this bigger or smaller if you want. A little tip. And then moving on, we have the Sweetpies again by Elaina. I literally love Elaina. I love her Sims. I love her work when it comes to her stuff. But this is Sweetpies. MXAO is very strong, so I would just maybe suggest tweaking this one too. This one is also really beautiful, and I love the colors. They're just so rich. Like, look at the difference with the reds and the oranges. On and off. Like, it just adds so much depth to it. And if you're a fan of Gshade, I would highly suggest trying out any of Elaina's presets because they're just so gorgeous. So this one, I believe, does have the blurry effect for it. Like, look how good this looks with the bokeh on. Like, this looks so beautiful. This preset is so gorgeous. I love also just how pretty and just natural. Like, I really like what it does to our Sims skin tones. Like, I just think it looks really beautiful and really natural. And then moving on, this one is called the Petals Gshade preset. This one is just a little funky. I personally love this one. This is really fun for me for screenshots. So let me show you what I mean. This is not one that I would use for your general gameplay. This one is very heavy. So what I mean by heavy, it's just very powerful. So for example, let me just find a nice little place to take a screenshot. Okay, so if I want to take a screenshot of this house over here, this is fun because all you have to do is, you see this target right here? So the center of this right here is where you would have in focus. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So let's just say we wanted to come over here. We want to get this full picture, right? But we wanted to make sure the whole house was in focus. Do you guys see how the rest of this over here is blurry? Okay, it's moving. My mouse is moving. But again, so the house is in focus, but then the rest over here is blurry. So it just keeps changing because I'm moving my mouse around. But let me take a screenshot for you guys. I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see. But if I was going to come over here and I wanted to have this tree in focus, that's in focus, and everything else is blurry. So that is one of my favorite ones too. This is just really nice. I think it looks beautiful in Hemford and Bagley and in Windenburg. Just, it's a really nice preset when you want to take scenery screenshots, in my opinion. I just think it's so cozy, and I mean, what could you not love about this one? This one's just so gorgeous. So moving back to my sim, this other one is called the Storyteller. Believe it or not, this was my first one I ever used, the Storyteller. I loved this preset so much. It's so funny like seeing this now, like, and how much I've changed my sims. But again, you can add the ADOF key and make the blurry background. So yeah, here we go. This is what I used to use for my screenshots. So it's just really nice and simple. I like that about it. And it's just really pretty. So this one's really gorgeous, and it's definitely a good preset to start off with. And then moving forward, I do have the MissLollypop. This is her gameplay preset. So this one is also a little bit darker, but I love, and honestly, I can't remember if this is the way it looks in general. I have tweaked this one a few times because I really enjoy it a lot. So I just can't remember what the original one looks like, but yeah, let me show you all really quick. This is her screenshot one. So as you can see, the bokeh is starting to like have an effect, and this one is really beautiful. This preset is her screenshot preset that she has, and it's called With the Bloom. So if you wanted to take the bloom off, which kind of gives it like this like kind of magical creamy effect to it, you would just take this magic bloom off. There's just so many different, and that's the bloom right there. But there's so many different settings that you can change on here. And I promise you, don't be intimidated by this. It's really not that intimidating. But if you wanted to reload anything, you could just hit reload. And then you could also, if there's ever anything that you want to just go back to how the preset originally was, you would just go right here and you would go to reset all to default. So how it says the quint right here. And if you ended up changing something like this, like look, I changed that, right? I wanted to change it back. You just hit yes, and it changes it back where it was. So yeah, it's just really cool, and you can play around with everything. And this is like the bokeh and blur. You can make it bigger or smaller. You can do whatever you want with it. So, and then she also has a Sims Radiance one for screenshots. So this one is also one of my favorites too. This one is so beautiful, and I just love how my Sims look. Like it's just absolutely gorgeous. And again, the name of it, it's called the Radiance one, and I couldn't agree more with that. Like it is literally radiant. So not to be cheesy, but it's just so beautiful. One is this one called Thunderstorm by the Mushroomwhims. So this one is another like cool funky one, as y'all can see. You would definitely have to get pretty close to your sim to like get them in focus, but all you have to do is hold your mouse down and zoom in and just kind of move around about. So yeah, I think it looks really, really beautiful. And yeah, you just have to make sure your sim is in focus or whatever you're trying to get in focus. But I really love, like, for example, like once my sim is in focus, I like the blur effect on this one. I just think it's extra fun. Okay, so the next one I'm going to share with you guys is a much beloved preset. I feel like a lot of people know about this preset, but if you don't, this one is definitely for you. This is definitely a really good one to start off with. So Boho Dreams by Neecxle is one of my favorite ones. Like I said, this is a really good one to start off with, but this one actually does not come with MXAO originally, so it's just gonna look like this when you put it in your game. So I feel like this is a really good preset to start off with, especially if you don't have like the most powerful computer in the world. I played with this when I had a like more lower end computer, and it was like just fine for me. So let me zoom back into my sim for you guys so you can see what she looks like. But yeah, this one is definitely a very popular one among the simming community. Obviously, like it's just so beautiful. Like it's very simple, as you guys can see. Like look at the coloring though. Like it just, to me, I love it. I like the hues of it. I love how simple it is, and it's just really beautiful. And also it runs really well for me, even on my like lower end computer that I had before I had my new gaming computer. So highly suggest this one a lot. It's definitely a go-to for me. I don't use it as much anymore. I really use that Elllanora Ellcrze one. But yeah, it is absolutely beautiful, and I love it. So highly suggest this one. And then moving on, I do have this one by Charlie Pancakes, which is called Livid. So for this one, we're gonna go off into the nature. So that sounds weird. But yeah, we're gonna go into the nature. So this one by Charlie Pancakes is really beautiful. So for example, this one has a nice like blur to it. So it has the magic bloom and then the magic doff key, which is like the Adolf key. But this one has just like a very slight blur, and it's kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just very subtle. I don't know if you guys can tell, like the blur is kind of subtle on the house. And then there's some blurring up here at the top, but yeah, I don't think this one would be good for like maybe everyday gameplay just because it blurs out like a lot of your surroundings. So like my sim would be blurred, but you can always just turn off that right there, but then still have the bloom. So you guys can kind of tell. Again, I'm not sure how to really describe my words when it comes to that, but yeah, so that's the magic bloom right there. So it kind of just makes it like hazy, kind of like dreamy in my opinion, but with the magic doff key on, it just adds like the blur. So again, if you want to use this for gameplay, just turn that magic doff key on and then put the magic bloom back on. With the magic bloom on, my sim is in focus. She just looks like really dreamy, and yeah, it just looks really pretty. So again, if I put that doff key back on, you see how she's blurry. Take it off, and again, she just has that nice like kind of haziness to her, which is like nice and dreamy. I can definitely see like that being in Hefferdon Bagley or maybe even Glimmerbrook. So yeah, I love this one a lot, and Charlie Pancakes is the creator of the save file that I did recently. I did a review of her save file. So definitely check out that video if you haven't seen it already. I'll put a little screenshot up on the video now so you guys can check it out if you want to. But moving on to our next one. So this one here is called Dove 2.0 by Kindlespice. So for some reason, I'm not sure why the MXAO shader didn't compile for me, but it's totally okay. I don't really care. I don't mind it, but maybe it'll work for your computer. Maybe that's just a me thing, and maybe it needs to be updated or something. This is the Dove shader on, and this is off. So you guys can see the difference with this one. This one is really beautiful, and it just gives it like a nice like pop of color. Like the colors are very like saturated, and they just look really nice. Like look at the difference. Like the water actually looks blue, and these trees over here, just everything is basically enhanced, and that's basically what we're looking for when it comes to Gshade. We just want to enhance the color of our game, clearly, because you know, we don't want our game to be boring and plain. Like look how flat everything looks. You put the Gshade on and everything looks nice and beautiful and colorful. So that is the Dove 2.0, and again, this is another beloved one that everyone loves. But if you are newer to Gshade, which most of you guys are that request this video, this is a good one for you. So anyways, again, you can always go in and like tick things off if you want to. And if you notice that certain settings in here are a little bit heavier on your computer and it's running a little bit slow, just take some time to like go in here and like play with it. So, but this one should be pretty good on your computer. If not, just play with the settings. So one more technical thing I want to show you guys. So for example, when you are trying to find your screenshot that you just took, normally it's going to be in this folder, but I will show you how to change that. So I'm just going to show you where the folder originally is, and then for example, what I changed my folder to, which is the sim screenies, which basically means like sim screenshots, but I like to be extra and call them screenies. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit your C file, the O, S, and then C. So that's your C drive. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your C drive, and it's going to say OSC, and then you hit users, hit public, and then you go down to public pictures, basically going to have your original Gshade photos in here. So as you can see, those are Gshade presets, photos that have been taken by Gshade. However, what you'll do in the game when you're in your Gshade panel is you can change the path directions for it, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But these are my sim screenshots right here. As I said before, this is where, look at all these files, y'all. So this is where all my Gshade photos are currently. So I'll go ahead and show you in just a moment where to actually change what folder you want to put your Gshade screenshots in. So mine just are on my desktop right here, so it's just easy for me to like go in and grab, but it just makes it easier for me when trying to find them. So if I wanted to change the path of where my screenshots go, all I have to do is go right here. So where it says screenshot path, so currently, like I mentioned before, it says Sims Screenies, that's where mine go. So if you ever want to change it, or if you want to move it from the public pictures, you would just go right here to this little folder icon, and then you would go to Sims Screenies, but you can even click this one again, okay? And then you could go to all these different folders, wherever you want to go. Again, I just like having it on my desktop so it's easy, so I can just go in and grab it anytime. So again, I would just go to desktop, you just click it, and then Sim Screenies again, because obviously that's where it is. So then if you look up here at the top, it's going to say the folder that you want it to go in. So again, if I want to change it, I'll just go back to the desktop. Let's say I wanted to put it in the Documents tab. So I would just go over here and hit Documents. I'm not going to put it in here, but I would click on my pictures and hit Select. But again, I'm doing the desktop screenies. So Sim Screenies again, and then I just hit Select right here. So that's it. Super simple and very easy to use. So again, that is where I grab all of my screenshots. So I'll just go on my desktop and it'll be in that folder. So super easy and very important to know though, so you don't have to go and dig through your trying to find your public photos for your Gshade screenshots. So I like that. I think it's super easy to use. So yeah, I hope that really helps you guys. But that is all I have for you guys today in regards to my favorite presets. Now there's a ton of other presets out in the Sims universe that you can find and use and put in your game, but I just want to show you my top favorite that I use myself, that I love and I trust. So with that being said, definitely comment down below if you have any more suggestions or if you guys have any other fun Gshade presets that you want me to check out and review. I am more than happy to do so. But anyways, I hope y'all have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are and whenever you are watching this video. I love you guys so much and thank you for being here and watching this video, and thank you for my lovely subscribers for actually mentioning this video idea. I think it'll be really helpful to a lot of you guys. So anyways, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.